In this video, I'm walking you through how to do sitting drape position. You're going to need a chair or something similar, so it could be the edge of a bed or an ottoman or something like that. But basically, when you're sat on the thing that you have, you want your hips to be about level with your knees. So can you see here how from the side, I have a 90-degree angle at my hip, a 90-degree angle at my knee, and a 90-degree angle at my ankle. So from that side view, we've got nice right angles all the way through my legs. My feet aren't like this. My feet aren't like this. My knees aren't like this. And my knees aren't like that. Okay, so you're looking to have 90 degrees, parallel with the floor and the thighs, 90 degrees at the knees, and 90 degrees at the ankles. From the front view, we are making sure that our toes, ankles, knees, and hips are all in alignment. We're not like this, we're not like this, we're not pinching our knees together. Toes, ankles, knees, and hips in alignment. For most people, you're going to naturally want to have your feet a bit like this, and you're going to turn them in so that the center of gravity is going through your second and your third toe like this. We don't measure straight lines off our big toe because then we splay our feet out to the side. So we're doing that with our legs. And all we're going to do for sitting drape is wrap our arms underneath our legs like this, as if we're giving ourselves a nice big hug, okay? And you're going to try and hang your head really nice and heavy. So you're going to feel the kind of weight of your head pulling you down and forwards. Ignore the fact that I'm cranking my head round right now, but obviously I'm walking you through the instructions. But it's really important that you're not holding tension in your head and neck, and that everything is hanging nice and freely because it helps with the exercise. So you're coming into this position, and the first thing that you might notice is that your body kind of panics because you're in this compressed position of flexion. And that's normally, for me, a sign that my client doesn't breathe very well with their back body. So if you're very dependent on your kind of neck, your chest, and the front of your body for breathing, and you only breathe here, and you're not breathing here or breathing here, when you do this, you're going to start panicking because you're going to feel like you've taken away your capacity to breathe, which sounds scary. So ease yourself into it, but the first thing that you've got to focus on is breathing in and out of your nose and sending your breath into your back. And once your body and your nervous system get used to sending that breath into the back, it will realise that you're absolutely fine. So you've just taken away your kind of current coping mechanism, and we're teaching it something new. So sitting drape is a brilliant exercise for reducing a ribcage flare and getting length through the lower back, as well as balancing off the pelvis and the hips. It's also good for relaxing the neck as well. But you're not doing this properly if you're holding your breath and panic. So just don't think about too much else to begin with. Just get that breathing correct. In and out of your nose, sending it here, stopping the exercise whenever you need to when it gets too much or whatever. I'm going to be holding this for 3 minutes, but that absolutely doesn't mean that you have to. So once you've got kind of hold of your breath, the next thing to watch out for is the weight distribution through your bum cheeks. If you have one hip that flexes more than the other or better than the other, so this is your hip and you're currently in hip flexion. If you have one side of your hip and pelvis that flexes better than the other, you might notice that you're kind of tilting towards the side that you flex better with, if that makes sense. So if my left hip flexes better, I might find that I end up having more weight through my left bum cheek because my body is avoiding that right hand side. So you're really trying to send your weight evenly through both sides of your butt cheeks. It might mean that you don't come down quite so low in the flexion of your spine, but that doesn't matter. We're looking for balance here, okay? So just be really mindful if you feel more stuff kind of going on in terms of weight distribution. You're trying to settle that off. And also have a think about your shoulders, because you might find that your body's naturally trying to kind of rotate your upper body to one side rather than keep the shoulders in alignment with the knees and with the hips. So all we're doing is hanging our head heavy. It should feel really nice at the back of the neck, and it should feel like it's kind of stretching and elongating.
And you're just settling into this, breathing nice and deeply. So we're using our nose to breathe deeply into this back of our ribs, the sides of our ribs, and our lower back. I'm going to set a timer here. I'm not going to do it for 3 minutes, just because I've been talking for so long, but I am going to do it for 2 minutes. And if I can think of anything else to say during, I will let you know, but I'm probably going to just focus on doing this well myself. So 3, 2, 1, off we go. So toes, ankles, knees and hips in alignment. Don't let the knees come out and don't let the knees pinch together. You're still keeping them at hip width apart so that your hips have to kind of balance and stabilise you here. Relaxing the head long and breathing in my nose into the backs of my ribs, the sides of my ribs, and my lower back. Now, the longer that I'm here, I feel like I'm probably putting a little bit more weight perhaps through my left hand side. So I'm just going to kind of like shift my body slightly and just experiment a bit and see what happens when I put a bit more weight through my right hand side. Whilst you're doing this, you might feel some kind of work going on in your hip flexors, deep in your groin, because you are in hip flexion. You might feel a stretch through one or both sides of your lower back. You might feel a stretch through one or both sides of your sort of rib cage. Those are completely normal. You might feel a bit of a stretch through your neck or through your upper back, but it should all feel nice. And as ever, if this exercise doesn't suit you, or you've been here now for a minute and 40 seconds, and you're just not getting used to the breathing, rather than making yourself dizzy and panicked, how about you stop right now? We've got just over 10 seconds left. And relax off. So that is sitting drape.